Hey, welcome to today's video. If this is your first time here, I'm Amber. I make kinda crunchy motherhood and lifestyle videos. If you like that sort of thing, please hit that subscribe button down below. I'd love to see you around here more often. Today we're talking about getting things done without feeling super overwhelmed as a stay-at-home mom. And I'm pretty sure that this applies to working moms as well, but I am a stay-at-home mom, so that's where I'm coming from. If you are a mom, you know that taking care of kids in and of itself is a full-time job. And then when you're home and you look around the house and just see everything that needs to get done, it can feel so overwhelming. And unlike a normal job, at the end of the day, you don't get to clock out and go home. You have to stay home. And so I think sometimes that can just make the overwhelm feel a little bit more heavy. I made a video kind of similar to this one last year, but that one was more about what to do with your baby and how to get your baby to be okay on their own for a little bit so that you can get a chore or two done. This one is all about you and your time management. I'm gonna tell you how I stay organized, get everything done, take care of and spend quality time with my son, all without feeling like I'm drowning. With a little bit of time to spare, I should say. The first thing that I do is write almost everything down that I need to remember when I think of it, because mom brain is so real. And I know that if I don't write something down right when it comes into my brain, I am not going to remember to do it later. I'm either going to completely forget, or hours later, I'm gonna be like, what was that thing I was supposed to write down again? And just trying to remember everything that you need to do is way too difficult, way too stressful, and I can't even imagine trying to do that. So I am talking about chores, meals, appointments, and any other random things that I need to get done or need to remember. I personally like to use my phone because I have my phone on me or near me almost all of the time, and so it's just so easy to grab it, open it up, and make a quick note or a reminder. And I have several different running lists on my phone, but I do also have a little whiteboard on our fridge where I'll occasionally jot something down on there. I use my reminders app to keep a running grocery list, and this is the best thing because as you add grocery list items, it automatically categorizes them for you. So it'll put like all the meats in one section or dairy, eggs, and cheese in another section. And then I use the notes section on my phone for other random lists like video ideas, or I have a list of random things that we might need to get not at any particular time, but just at some point. So I need to get like some snow boots, Kai needs to get more winter clothes, just things like that. The second thing I do is I use a planner to stay organized. Again, I use my phone for this because it's just so easy to open up and refer to it whenever I need to. But if you are more of a pen and paper kind of a person, then go get yourself a physical planner. I personally just prefer my phone because it already has built-in apps that are made for this, and I don't have to keep on buying a new planner every single year. Organizing your meals, appointments, and to-do list items into the weeks and days that you need to have them done by makes life run so much smoother. So I use my calendar app for that. Another reason I really love the phone is because you can set recurring reminders. So I have a monthly reminder to mop. I have a bi-weekly reminder to wash our sheets. And I love that because I don't have to worry about remembering to write those things down over and over and over again. I can just set it and then forget it essentially until it pops up on my phone. And if this is something that sounds like a lot of time to you, I promise it really doesn't take that much time. You don't have to take 30 minutes to an hour every single week to plan out your whole month. You can just do what I do and write things down, jot things down throughout the day as you think of them, and then you might only need a few minutes in the morning or at night to just fill in the gaps. And I promise you, in the long run, this will save you so much time because you'll have your weeks planned out and you'll have everything that you need to do and remember right in front of you, instead of you running around trying to remember everything that needs to get done and potentially forgetting a lot of it. The third thing that I do is 2 or 3 chores every single day so that all of the housework just feels a lot less overwhelming. And I actually used to try to do the opposite of this, where I would try to cram all of the house chores and everything I needed to do into like 2 or 3 days. And that way, for the rest of the week, I wouldn't have to worry about any house chores at all. But I found even with just one kid, that is not realistic. So I'm sure it's not realistic if you have more than one kid either. A lot of times something would come up and I wouldn't be able to like finish all of the laundry in one day, for example. And those days just left me exhausted and frustrated as well, because I would look at my to-do list and realize I wasn't able to even get to half of the things that I had on there. Instead, it is so much better to just try to get anywhere from like 1 to 3 things done every single day. And in our house, there are some things that we do every single day, like wipe down the kitchen or vacuum downstairs. So I'm not counting those because those are just kind of a part of our daily rhythm and they really don't take much time at all. The things I'm talking about are more like throwing in a load or 2 of laundry one day, mopping the next day, cleaning the bathrooms the next day, things like that. It's kind of hard to have the entire house be clean all at once, but I found that if you do this and you do a couple of things every single day, most of the house is clean most of the time. And if you have young kids, it might just not be the season of your life where you're going to have a pristine house all the time. And that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Different seasons of our life call for accepting and being okay with different things. The next thing that I do is something I've been really working on more recently, and that is to just focus on one thing at a time, because as a mom, it is so easy to start working on one thing and to notice something else that needs to get done. So to run over there immediately to start working on that thing and finishing nothing. And when I do that, I find that I feel way more overwhelmed because it feels like I'm doing everything and accomplishing nothing because I'm not actually finishing everything. I'm just hopping around from one task to the next. So I feel much less overwhelmed when I just devote all of my attention to one task, finish it, and then I can just mark that off my list entirely. The 5th thing that I do is to not overbook myself in one day. So like I said, I usually plan like 2 or 3 things that I need to do, not including meals and everyday type chores. And if I put anything else on my schedule in that day, they're not like must-do items. They're things that I can easily move to another day or even another week if it doesn't get done. And that's actually what I primarily use the little whiteboard on our fridge for. It's for things that don't necessarily need to get done on any particular day. They just need to get done at some point. And so they're there, I can see them, Alex can see them, and it takes up a little bit less space in my phone. It's just so much more practical to spread things out over the week. Allowing a little bit of time for myself every single day is crucial so that I have the energy to do everything that I need to do. I kind of talk about this a lot because I think it's just so true and it's so important that as parents, we need to have little moments of time to ourselves. And if you have time to take like an hour to yourself, great, do it. But I know that for a lot of us, that's not going to happen every single day. So even if it's just 5 minutes to do something that feels refreshing or refueling to you, do it. Because motherhood requires us to just give and give so much of ourselves. So I have just found that making a little bit of time for myself, or a lot if I have the time, every day and throughout the week allows me to take care of my home and my family and to be happy to do it and not feel like resentment or like I'm depleted. And that's huge for me because I want my family to know that I love doing what I do for them and for us, and not to feel like I ever thought that they were like a burden or this is just like one huge chore. The last thing is probably one of the hardest, and that is to realize that I literally cannot do everything and to ask for help. And that could be from your partner or from your kids. I don't want to speak for all stay-at-home moms, but for Alex and I, it just makes sense for me to do a lot of the housework because I'm here every day, most of the day, and he's not. But even then, I can't actually do everything. And I'm a firm believer that if you live in a house, you need to help take care of it. So like I said, even though I do a lot of the housework, Alex absolutely still helps. And if I need some extra help, I will ask him for it. If your kids are old enough to help, I would really encourage you to get them involved, especially because little kids love to help. So use that. And we're not there yet, but I would assume that even though it's probably going to take them a little bit longer to like put the dishes away or something like that when they're really young, they're probably going to become way more efficient at it way quicker because they've started doing it so young. And so I absolutely plan on doing that with Kai as soon as I feel like he's ready and able to take on even a small chore. But for now, he's so young, we just like encourage him to help in very, very small ways. Like we'll ask him to flip off a light switch or shut a door, and he will do those things and he loves to do it. And I always make it a point to say, thank you so much for helping, or like, oh, you're so helpful. Taking care of kids and a home is a lot, but all of these things have made it so much more doable and even enjoyable for me, and hopefully they can do the same for you. Please give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Bye!